Hey guys, it's Emily, and about 2 days ago, I went to the I Can't Hear You tour, and I saw Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens, and Daisy Grenade. So let's talk about it. So this was the first concert that I was going to with my boyfriend Roy as a couple together, and my dad also came along. He brought us there, and this was my fit. The concert was held in Philly at the Mann Skyline stage, and I had never been there before, so this was a new place for me. I think we left around 4:30-ish, like a few minutes past 4:30. And yeah, there was a bit of traffic on the way there because it's Philly. The line there was kind of long, but luckily it was moving kind of fast actually. And at one point in the line, we saw the Pierce the Veil tour bus, which we had to get a picture with, of course. And then eventually we finally got in, and I was so excited. I was jumping, and Roy was like, whoa, be careful. I wanted to see the merch, but the merch line was pretty huge, so we didn't go. But I knew I wanted to get a Sleeping with Sirens shirt because I already have 3 Pierce the Veil shirts and some other merch from them, but I don't have any merch from Sleeping with Sirens, and I really like Sleeping with Sirens, so I wanted to get something from them since this was my first time seeing them. Me and Roy spent most of the time in the crowd with the other people. I never really left to go to the bathroom or get anything. My dad was getting drinks or food for us often because I didn't want to miss out on anything. The crowd often moving up a lot to the stage several times during all of the 3 band sets, and we were like, oh. I was hoping that my dad would still be able to find me, and luckily he did. He always seems to be able to do that at crowded places. So the first band we saw, the opening act, was Daisy Grenade. And they were pretty great. This was my first time seeing them. And I think while we were watching Daisy Grenade, my dad went to the merch line and got me this Sleeping with Sirens shirt. And I love it. And this is the back of it with all the tour dates. I love it. And it fits perfectly. So thanks to my dad for getting it. Finally acquired some Sleeping with Sirens merch. And then speaking of Sleeping with Sirens, they were the next band. and they were incredible as well. First time seeing them, and I definitely would want to see them again. Like, Kellen Quinn's energy and band members' energy were also like amazing and fun. And then eventually was the main act, Pierce the Veil.
Washington, and this is the last track on that record, and I hope you guys like it.
this was my third time seeing them. Pierce the Veil is the band I have seen the most times so far in my life. And they were just incredible as well. And this was my first time seeing them like at a headlining concert. Like the first time I saw them, they were opening for Blink-182, and then the second time I saw them was at When We Were Young, and then now the third time I'm seeing them at their own I Can't Hear You tour. So that's pretty cool. Like, it was so surreal to hear the songs from their first album, like Yeah Boy and Dollface, I'd Rather Die Than Be Famous, Wonderless. Like, oh my gosh, like I got emotional during Yeah Boy and Dollface because like I love that song so much, and it sounded amazing live, of course. And especially when they did that She Makes Dirty Words Sound Pretty cover, like, oh my god. Yeah, and also I loved their cover of Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. Like, I think it was better than the original in my opinion, and I hope they release that one on streaming platforms like they did with Karma Police. Like, I wonder if that's gonna be the next cover they put out. They did it for like the beginning of the song Floral and Fading. Also, there was someone around us trying to crowd surf. So me, my dad, and Roy, and a few other people, we were all trying to lift this one person, and it was not so easy, but we somehow did it. And I remember afterwards, some of the girls were asking us, like, are you guys okay? And I was like, yeah, like, are you okay? Like, I thought that was so nice. Such a nice moment. Yeah, because I remember at one point Vic Fuentes was like, what do you guys do if someone falls down? And we all yelled back, like, pick them back up. And also, it was so cool once again to see Kellen Quinn perform King for a Day with Pierce the Veil, because I saw that at When We Were Young, and to see it again here closer to me was amazing as well. And since it was the last song, we were leaving a bit during halfway through King for a Day. But, you know, I'm kind of used to doing that at this point with concerts when I go with my dad. It was tricky. I was, like, still trying to record on the concert, like, on my phone while walking. So. And also, I remember I was, like, I had brought, like, some important things, like my debit card and my ID, and also my earplugs, which I didn't even use, to be honest. So, just tapping my jeans to make sure I still had those. Me and Roy were, of course, still singing King for a Day together while walking back to the car.
Oh yeah.
So then we drove and we dropped Roy off at his house, and then eventually me and my dad came back home at like 11:45, I think, at night or something. Yeah, that was the night. So that was my experience at the I Can't Hear You tour. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If any of you were at that same concert Monday night, May 19th, let me know in the comments below and maybe share some of your experience. Or if you went to any of the other Pierce the Veil dates at the I Can't Hear You tour. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much to my dad for getting us the tickets and for letting me bring Roy too. I can't wait for the other concerts I'm going to with Roy this year. So, bye!